Strong pickleball players understand that there are few hard boundaries on a pickleball court. The idea that each player takes up just half of the court is not something you see from advanced players. Teams will try to isolate one player and keep the ball away from the other, and one way to counter this is to be fluid about how the court is shared. What's most important for a team is that each player understands who will cover what. What are their responsibilities? Whether it's because one person is a stronger player, has a longer reach, or just happens to be having a good day, you will nearly always have a preference for who takes the ball. And the more that you can allow for that to happen without letting ego get in the way, the more successful your team will be. Pickleball is a sport that is all about pressure. Applying pressure when you have the chance, and relieving it when you're in trouble. And while high-powered putaways are deserving of our attention, the ability to defend and get out of a jam is huge when it comes to playing advanced pickleball. Resetting the point is a term that's often used, but not always understood. We can imagine a pickleball rally as having a scale associated with it. When one team has an advantage, they're outweighing the capacity of the other team. They are in control, and the other team is defending. However, if the defensive team can find a way to get out of this jam, if they are able to neutralize their opponents so they can't do as much damage, the defending team has reset the scales so they're balanced. They have, in fact, reset the point. So what needs to happen to be able to reset the point? First, it's important to remember that the net teams are always looking for high balls. And that's because if they get something high, they can hit down on it. And if they can hit down, they can hit hard and still keep the ball in play. This will likely maintain their advantage. So to reset the point, the defending team has to find a way to get the ball back in play so that it is low enough and slow enough to force the net team to hit upward. While they probably won't miss this shot, they probably aren't likely to hit with a lot of pressure, a lot of speed, like they did before. High balls, on the other hand, will continue to allow the offensive team to maintain their advantage. So how do you do it? How do you force this upward hit? First, it's important that the ball travel low over the net. If the ball is going to force an upward hit, it better be no more than a foot or so above net height. To keep the ball low, defenders have to control their paddle angle. A perpendicular paddle face will be alright if the ball is a little bit high, and a slightly open paddle face will be needed if the ball is low. Second, players have to control the speed of their shot. If they want the ball to get past the net, but then to drop before the opponents, they better hit slow enough that gravity has the time it needs to do its work. A short backswing and a minimal acceleration will help keep the speed under control. How much speed to use is a function of the speed of the oncoming ball, as well as where the player is standing when they hit it and which direction they're sending the ball. Advanced players may even use a little bit of backspin to help the ball float a little farther toward the net, or topspin to help the ball get up and over the net and then dip down. Adding spin generally complicates the shot, but it can be a useful attribute when trying to play with such a small margin of error. Finally, it's helpful to remember that when you hit cross-court, you're hitting over the lower part of the net to the biggest part of the court. While down-the-line resets are indeed possible, players who try to reset the point with a cross-court typically have more success.
Zero.